Last night, I had a hell encounter. This is my second one. The first one was like maybe a year ago, but this one was way more detailed and it's very, very, very weird. The Lord showed me two sections of hell. One, people was there for a while. They was just already there and dead. But the other section, people were alive, very well dressed. And I knew in this section, the Lord was telling me, people that's living on earth, their soul is here unless they repent. That's the difference. Now, this is the dream. Last night I had a dream / hell encounter. It all started on a ship. So weird. And I knew that meant many will shipwreck their lives to a dead end if they don't repent. As I arrived, there were ugly demons dressed like demigods. They were very muscular and built, and they just covered like the bottom portion of their private area. It was very horrifying. I can't describe how they look. The only thing I can just say is ugly and disgusting. Many people were in line headed towards the entrance of terror. Upon getting there, many people were afraid to walk forth. And I heard a demon say, "Go before I make you go." He stood up with a weapon that had spikes. And in my spirit, I knew not to make eye contact, as I knew eye contact meant torture and torment on sight. It was a form of disrespect to look a demon in his eyes. As I walked up, I looked around and looked down. And when I looked on the floor to my left, it was a pool of lava. And there were people boiling in that pool. They were not white. They were not black. You wouldn't know if it was male or female. You wouldn't know. Their skin was orange and they was lit up. And their flesh was falling off. There was completely no identity, no gender. None whatsoever. And I looked up and people were climbing up the wall. And many were trying to escape. And the demon snatched and yanked them back. And as I looked, I felt heat, but the Lord didn't allow me to feel the intensity. But it was extremely hot. I was very close to the lava pool. Oh, it was, oh geez. Okay. As I was looking, me and other people went into a room. We kept walking up. And then we entered a door. And this is the part where people were alive but dead. I know these people are still alive and living on earth, but they are committing this sin. And if they die in their sin, this is where they're going to end up. So when we got in there, I looked around and I noticed the scene was set up like a club scene. It was extremely packed and people sat in their seats and at the table. And they had no choice but to look as if they couldn't have their attention to the left, to the right. They couldn't make conversation with nobody there. They had to look and keep their eyes on the stage, on whoever was performing. And the guy on the stage wore a red hoodie and he had his hood on. He looked like a normal guy, but I knew it was a masquerade. And the other demons looked at the crowd. They looked at the crowd, ready to pull someone and rip them apart. I looked up and I noticed there were fans. And I thought to myself, that's very odd. Where's this breeze coming from? And in the dream, everything was so intense and heightened. The smell, the sound, the hearing, the feeling, the emotions. You feel everything all at once. And it's so hard because it's like 10 different things going on. And you can really decipher and feel each one. It was very weird. As I looked closer, I noticed that it was people being hung by the tongue, and they were spinning at a supernatural rate. In other words, they were human fans. It was so weird. The setup was so weird. And they were just spinning at a supernatural rate so fast. And they couldn't scream. Their tongues was literally, I don't know how to explain it. But they were human fans. My goodness. So the guy that was on the stage, he got on the mic and said, it's time to show them what eternity feels like. And I knew everybody that sat in that room, those people were alive. But I know the Lord was showing me many people that go out clubbing, drinking, partying, carousing. This is their portion. So after the guy said, it's time to show them what eternity feels like, I sat there and I tucked myself in the crowd not to be seen. The guy on the stage said, give them maggots. I kid you not. Everyone's eyes and mouth started to bleed out maggots, including mine. I coughed up and I spit, but it wasn't helping. Everything inside of me became maggots that was coming down my face and coming out my mouth. And I just cried. And the worms began to disappear. And I heard a sound that grieved my spirit. It was like, okay, the best I can describe it is the Michael Myers music when he finna get ready to chase, and you know that piano that play. It was that, but it was more to it, and you can feel the emotion and the intensity of the frequency in that music. And the guy said, we are about to give you World War III. And my thoughts was everywhere, and I looked and I seen people completely out of it, like losing their minds, and I began to cry. And then gas was released into the air, and my ears felt as if they burst, and I started to cry, and my tears was burning my face. And no one was able to talk. You could not tap and ask a person why you're here or when is this gonna end, because if having a conversation in hell is an act of love, because when you're conversing, you are bonding. And there is none of that in hell. There's complete separation. You are isolated. It's like you're around a crowd of people. It's so many people to talk to, but you cannot talk. You cannot bond. The only thing you can do is feel regret, feel shame, feel guilt, feel torment, feel torture, and your thoughts is just completely out of whack. And I noticed when one torment ended, it was transitioning into the next torment as if it was set to merge, not leaving a gap of peace. And I just noticed when the maggots was falling, and he said we're about to give them World War III. And I'm like, that's weird. Why would he say that? And I looked over and I just seen a guy. He was like out of it. No one was able to talk to no one. And every time you would get tormented, it's like another torment would appear out of the flesh. And it left no gap. If something is crawling on you, it would disappear but turn into another torment. It was so weird, and I'm just trying to explain it the best way I can. But I know the Lord is saying, it is many people alive here in the physical earth, but their soul is in hell. It's like being alive while dead at the same time, because in this second room, people was well dressed. They had on clothes. They were sitting at a table. It was just like a trial of torment if people do not repent. And with the dude saying, let's show them what it feels like to be in eternity. Let's give them World War III. And then the gas. I knew at that moment, those people that I was in the room, they weren't dead. But that's where they soul were as they roam about this earth doing ungodly activities. If they do not repent, The moment they drop dead in their sins, this will become a mere reality for those that do not repent. If you know somebody that's in a club, listening to secular music, drinking, smoking, fornicating, having a lying tongue, gossiping, slandering, oh my gosh. Whew, Jesus. It was so intense. If you know anybody that's doing these things, warn them and pray for them. Because there's a lot of people walking around here with their fate sealed. And if you do not repent, you will die and wake up in eternity. That is absolutely insane. When I tell you it's so many departments of hell and specific torments, I can't even wrap my mind around it. And that was just 2 rooms I seen. That was just 2 rooms. But there are many depths and departments to hell that is specifically tailored to your sin. Repent and come out of it.